Hey, what's good, fam? I pray that everybody's doing well, man. That's for me and mine. We are doing well. Thank you very much for thinking of us, for praying for us, and and for just always being here and giving me an attentive ear because you guys keep me motivated and inspired, right, through your love to keep on keeping on, all right, as is done through the spirit, but I understand that the Most High will place people in your life and in your path in order to encourage you, right? Or to discourage you. All of these things do happen. It depends on what he desires to be, what his desired outcome is. Let me put it that way. All right. And so I thank you guys for all playing your part. You guys often send me nice messages saying, thank you for, being obedient and doing your part. And I want to say to you guys, thank you for being obedient and for being loving and for doing your part because your part and my part, they go hand in hand. They are all pieces of the same puzzle. So once again, thank you guys for being here. Now, all together now, let's give all praise, honor, and glory to our beloved Father Yahweh in the name of our beloved King Yahweh Shai through the Spirit that we are gifted with his Holy Spirit in order for us to endure, to overcome, and for us to come to knowledge, wisdom, and perfection. Once again, thank you guys for joining me. Let's go ahead and get into this one. This is important because, again, we need encouragement. We need to keep our minds steadfast on the big picture because this world it's crazy and getting crazier and it's wicked and getting more wicked, right? People are vile and getting even more vile, and the hatred among all of our enemies, the Psalm 83 Confederacy, they are all ramping up their anger and their animosity and their vitriol, their hatred towards us. It's increasing. It's not turning down. They're not toning it down. They're turning it up. All right. But we know this is our Father's will so that he can reveal our enemies and make them run up their bill to make them worthy of the judgment which he has in store for them. So, remember all things work together for good for those who love him, right? So all these things are happening for our good. So don't, you're gonna be vexed by it. I can't tell you don't be vexed because I get vexed, but don't let it get you to the point where you're just really upset or you're emotionally drained or feeling some kind of way negatively, but you should be pissed. You should be angry. You should be so pissed that you pray for their downfall. You pray for their destruction. And that's the point. He wants you mad at these people so that you can pray against them so that he can answer your prayers and so that you can say thank you. All right. So um I want to remind the flock that, this is all predestination. And I want to bring you into remembrance of what we're walking into. All right. Because the present world, the things that we see and what we feel, what we experience is heavy and gonna get heavier, right? Famines and homelessness and right, just despair. All of these things are gonna increase. And so we gotta be ready because we're not being ready in the sense that we're terrified that these things are going to happen to us, but no, we got to be aware of what's going to be happening in the world around us because these things will affect us. For instance, when these people start to go hungry and we have plenty, they're going to try to come get it from us. They're going to see us having plenty and they're going to get mad at us. They're going to be envious and they're going to come after us to come get it from us. All right. They're going to fail, but understand they're going to try. All right. So what else we see right now? We see the wicked are ruling, people are confused, the nations are raging, and the elect are being tried. All right. But what do we know? The scriptures don't leave us hopeless, though, right? Yahweh gave us promises. Yahweh Shai gave us hope. And one of the greatest hopes set before us is the fact that the elect will be gathered, protected, purified, and brought into the reign of Yahweh Shai. And this is not fantasy. This is prophecy. All right. And I think the best place to start with going into this lesson, I mean, you see the title, so I don't need to tell you what it's about. The best what place to start is to start here in Hebrews chapter 12. Okay. Wherefore, singing, we are also compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses. Let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Let us lay aside every weight. You understand what that means? That means the things that weigh you down, your concerns, your worries, your fears, the things that cause you stress and anxiety. All these things, lay aside all these weights. Cast your burdens upon Yahweh Shai. He's built to carry it. You aren't. Not you, not I, not we. No, we're not made for this. Not alone. All right. So you got to give it to him. He can't wait for you to hand it to him. All right. He's like a spotter who's been sitting there holding up the weight for you the whole time. Anyway, you think you've been lifting on your own, but the whole time he ain't just been holding the bar up, spotting you. He's been lifting for you. He's been making sure that weight doesn't crush you. And every time you try to push, he pulls. He's always there assisting. He's the ultimate spotter. All right, encouraging those of us who are young. Now, just imagine, right? Fathers, big brothers out there, whatever the case may be. All right, a gym bro, you've been in the gym lifting with somebody and you know they aren't really strong enough to lift the weight that they're trying, but you're encouraging them and you want them to try. What do? When you got your hands on that bar, you're pulling. You're not just, you don't just have your hands there to catch them in case. No, you know they can't do it. And so you're actually assisting them without making it obvious that you're assisting them. You want them to feel like they're doing it, right? Without you. But here's the difference. Yahweh Shai and our Father, they don't want us to think that we're doing it without them. They want us to know that they are there, that we are only doing it because of them. That's the difference with that analogy. So it's not a pure one for one. Okay. But continuing on, looking unto Yahweh Shai, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy, this is the point, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of Yahweh. He's our example, right? Look, Yahweh Shai, the example at the top. We have to look unto Yahweh Shai, who is the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross. He understood prophecy. He understood the promises of our Father. He understood what he stood to gain. He knew what was promised to him for enduring the cross. So it made it easier for him to do it. Because don't mistake it one bit. It was a hard thing to do what he did. That was not easy. It was not a light thing. Don't mistake it for 1 second. Put yourself in his shoes. Think about what it took for him to endure the cross. And he did it. He did it for you. He did it for me. And he did it for himself, right? For the joy that was set before him. Because he wants to rule. He's a son. The way we all want to rule in our Father's kingdom. We want everything that our Father has in store for us. Well, Yahweh Shai does too. He wants everything the Father has in store for him. And guess what? He's a great big brother. He wants everything for us that the Father has in store for us. And his life was necessary to make that happen. He found joy in our restoration, in our rulership, us becoming kings and priests and rulers of this earth, our inheritance with him, motivated him, inspired him. All right. It gave him the strength to endure the cross through joy. That's what you got to do. You need to have joy. Find joy in what lies before us so that you don't get stressed out by what you're going through. All right. So let's go ahead and go to Isaiah 11. We're going to come down. We're going to start at verse 6. This is My young son's one of his favorite things to read and to quote. He talks about this all the time. All right. He loves to hear it and he loves to talk about it. And so the joy of a child, that's what we all need to have, right? We need to be as little children. And that makes me think that, I need to read this to the fam. I need to put them in remembrance of these things so they can have the joy of a child, the way my son does. All right. Verse 6, the wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and the little child shall lead them, and the cow and the bear shall feed, and their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox, and the sucking child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice's den. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, as the waters that cover the sea. All right, meaning the animals are going to have a knowledge and the ability to reason and understand the fact that they are animals, the fact that their God is Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, and that we are his children. They will not harm nor hurt his family. This is going to be a great time. This is what life is going to be like during the reign of Yahweh Shai. Lions are not going to be out here chasing around gazelles and other animals for prey. No, animals will not eat animals anymore. He's going to remove violence of all sorts out of the earth. He's going to take it away. This is what we have to look forward to. He's going to remove violence from among us. Let's put it like that. He's going to remove violence from out of his kingdom, from amongst us. All right? It's going to be a joyful time, a time unlike there has ever been, nor will there ever be the like. All right? And look here in verse 10. This is important. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. All right, that's the seventh day of creation, right? The 7,000th year, the day of rest, the day of the Lord. All right, that's how we know this talking about Yahweh Shai, because we know all the prophecies about the day of his rest. Okay, and so he says, to it shall the Gentiles seek. Why is it saying that? Because that's the time when the Gentiles are going to be able to come seek Yahweh Shai. Now isn't the time for them. Now is the time for Israel. Everything in due season, all right? The Most High has a way of doing things. His children first. Not everybody all at once. His children first, as it should be, okay? And so, again, that's the time when the Gentiles are going to be able to have access to salvation. They are going to have to get their great tribulation the way that we did. All right. Remember, as the scriptures say, that we must do great tribulation, right? Through great tribulation, do we enter into the kingdom? We had to go through our great tribulation first. So we're going to come into the blessings first. All right. And then the Gentiles will have 1,000 years to go through tribulation in order to make themselves worthy for the kingdom. Verse 11, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, not all of his people, the remnant of his people, because all of his people aren't thrown away and all of his people are not going to be gathered. The remnant, it's all about the small number of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt. All right, remember, we're in Egypt. But I want you to just get something out of your head. Like when you hear these names of these places, don't try to associate in your head the modern day places. All right. The same way if you saw Egypt and you try to associate it with With Egypt over there, you would be confused. You wouldn't understand. The prophecies wouldn't make sense. None of this would add up. You would have to understand that Egypt is over here. All right. Where is Assyria? Assyria. Where is Pathros? Where is Cush? Where is Elam? Where is Shinar? Where is Hamath? And from the islands of the sea, what are those? Where are those? Right? Don't try to use the current world geography and the current understanding that you have about geography in order to understand these things. Remember, Satan, that old serpent, right, who is also the dragon and called the devil, he greatly deceived the whole world. Now, we would be idiots to believe that he greatly deceived the whole world and that he lied about everything. He hid the Israelites and renamed the different people Israel and renamed us to other things and renamed every other group of people. All the peoples are no longer being referred to as their biblical names, and all of these things got renamed, but geography didn't get changed. The names of places didn't get renamed. That would be dumb to think that they did all that lying, all that covering up, and then left the names of the places intact. They didn't change the name of the places, though. That would be stupid. We're going to be smarter than that, though. But that's not even the point for us to get too stuck on that. I just wanted to give you that for wisdom's sake, all right, when you're thinking. Verse 12, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel. Who is he going to assemble? The outcasts of Israel and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. That's that great gathering, right? That Christians think is all about them. But it constantly tells us that it's about Israel. All right. This sounds an awful lot like Jeremiah 31 and 31, right? That he would make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Very consistent, right? With all the scriptures that's talking where he says he's going to put Israel and Judah, the family, back together again, one stick, right? The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Listen, Judah. Listen, fam. Okay? This is what's coming for our enemies. This is the reason why they're acting up the way that they are. Don't get super vexed by, oh, another black person killed, another black person hung. You keep seeing all throughout the news, oh, this girl goes missing, this boy goes missing, this girl found hung, this man found hung, right? This boy killed, this girl killed, over and over and over again, right? We keep seeing our people dying, being killed, coming up missing, all right, being the victims, the targets of attacks and all sorts of hatred, right? You see it. All the other nations, they can't help themselves. They can't help it. Remember what I taught y'all about the can't help it? They can't help it. But this is all prophecy. This is all the Father's will being done. All right, because he's going to cut these people off. He's going to destroy them, but he's making them worth it. All right. Not I'm sorry. He's making them deserve it. All right. He's making them deserve it. All right. So it has to happen. So when you see it, cheer for it. All right. Be sick. I get sick of these people all the time. And I say all the time, Lord, how long? How long until enough is enough? When are you going to step in and bring these people to an end? And then I turn right around and say, thank you for doing it. Because I see you doing it. Little by little, you're doing it. I'm just impatient. I got a tendency to get impatient sometimes because I get sick and tired of these people. See what I'm trying to tell you is that I'm not, special like I'm inhuman or something. I'm just like you. I suffer the same frustrations and anger and these different things that you experience when you watch what you see and you feel what you feel when you see what you see and hear what you hear. But it's all supposed to happen so that we can pray. We're supposed to put our prayers together, send them up, send them up, right? Like you read it in Revelations, right? It tells you about the vials that has the prayers of the saints. Our prayers are being collected and being brought to the throne. And as we pray and our prayers are being brought to the throne and our Father hears and he He responds on our behalf. Things happen in the earth. Earthquakes happen. The earth gets shaken. Things and people get shook up because all things are working together for good for us who love him. All right? Don't forget it. Okay? So again, what we just read, remember, this is very important, right? Where it says um, in verse 11, it says, the second time, right? He will set his hand again the second time, right? That means there is another major recovery of Israel, okay? Not just from Egypt, aka, Babylon, aka United States of America, all right? But everywhere that we are, all right? So we know this isn't talking about ancient deliverance. This is talking about a future deliverance, all right? The final regathering. Let's go to Jeremiah 23. Jeremiah 23. Look, the coming Messiah, the righteous branch, the very same righteous branch spoken of, all right, in Isaiah 11. Okay, let's come down to verse 3. He says, and I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries, whither I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. See, this is not about migration. This is about captivity. He says, I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries, whither I have driven them, not whether they went, not where they migrated to, not where they traveled to of their own accord, of their own leisure. No, where I have driven them to, into slavery, into captivity. That's what this is about. And will bring them again to their folds. Folds, yes, as in two, right? Southern Kingdom, Northern Kingdom. Or you can say 12, right? To our folds as in each tribe. And they shall be fruitful and increase. They shall be fruitful and increase. Look, the remnant is going to be a small number of people saved. And what are they going to do? They're going to be fruitful and increase. All right. This is again, well, how is that going to happen? And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man. Yes, that's how it's going to happen. All right. The same way, well, the same way he did with Jacob. That was supposed to be a foreshadowing. We talk a lot about foreshadowing here, right? Well, Jacob and how he produced the nation of Israel was a foreshadowing of what we're going to do, right? Many Israelites are going to die, but a remnant is going to be saved, and the rest of the family are going to be brought back through the remnant. The same way that we came into being through Jacob, one man and 4 women. One man, all right, got with 4 women, laid with 4 women to bring forth all of us. And it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same, right? One man to however many women shall be fruitful and increase the nation to fulfill the promise to Abraham that his seed should be as the sands of the sea. Think about it, the sands, the grain, each grain representing an Israelite, representing uh, the seed of Abraham. That's a lot. We are going to be more numerous than anybody really understands. All right. And see, this is just me speaking as a man and telling you things that I think about. I'm not saying that this is something I know or something that's a fact. It's just something that I think about. I want to be clear on that. All right. Don't go saying, oh man, each one said, oh man, Howard Rom said. No. All right, we got it. I wonder because of that number, and I know that all the Israelites that have ever existed and those who existed before there was Israel as a nation, right? Like Jacob, I'm sorry, wow, I can't believe I just said it. Like Abel, Seth, right? Adam, right? Name them, right? Name everybody who came through Seth, right? Think about all the people. Noah, right? His sons, their sons, their sons, right? Think about it. They're going to be part of that number. They're going to become Israelites because through regeneration, many of them had become Israelites. They were put into the Israelite family. But here's the part that I was getting at though. What if, what if, what if, what if, right? I don't know. I don't know, right? What if, right? That there are going to be people who are right now not Israelites, but will be placed into the bloodline of Israel by being born through Israelite men and women to become part of the bloodline, because the Most High can do anything that he wants with spirits. He can put you in any bloodline that he wants to. I just think about stuff like that. I don't know, but I think about stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, because that's the way I think, right? I imagine, I think, I daydream, I meditate, and I think of all sorts of things, like, because I know the Most High can't be put in the box, all right? He can be limited. So I try to think outside of the box and think about what could he do this? Yes, he could. Would he do it? I don't know, but could he? Yeah, he could. I don't know what he will do 100%, but I know what he could do. Anything. All right. I just think like that. And so, I want you guys to think like that too, because there's nothing wrong with thinking like that. That's meditating on his word, on his promises, on his magnificence. Okay. So, again, with Jeremiah 23:3, notice he says, he drove us out and he's the one bringing us back. All right. Let's not forget that we got driven out because of our own doing. That's something I wanted to get at, because we got to remember that this thing is a gift because we don't deserve it. We deserve to all be consumed, man, to be thrown away, to be honest. So we got to remember that this really is a gift, and never forget that we are to blame for our circumstances. So as bad as things can be, and as much as we seem to be hated and everything else, it's our fault. You can still pray for the fall of our enemies, but make sure you're also asking for forgiveness for yourself, for anything you may have done in this life and in any other lifetime that might not have been pleasing, that led to us being in this situation that we're in right now, right? Pray for mercy and forgiveness for our forefathers for what they did to contribute to us getting here. All right? Be in the habit of praying for Israel, those present and those who are not. All right, let's go to Baruch chapter 4. Let's come down to verse 36. O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from the Most High. Lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of the Most High. Kahalayim Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All right, so again, you see, this is joy language, return language, restoration language. This is the great joy, the hope that is set before us that you should always have in front of you, like the carrot leading the horse. All right. We all know the analogy of the carrot and the stick, right? Well, at one point, we had to get that stick to make us move, right? Now we get the carrot. The carrot moves us now. All right. And for us now, the carrot is the great joy, the hope that is set before us. Let's go to Ezekiel 20. Are you guys happy? Do you guys find joy in the word? Have you guys been meditating on the word ever since I made an emphasis of talking about it? What do you guys think about when you think about the kingdom? What do you think about when you think about the 1,000-year reign of Yahweh Shai? When you think about our deliverance, our salvation? Tell me about it. Get down there in the comments, man. Let me see. I want to hear, man. Join in, chime in. Those of you who just be sitting back and on the sideline, man, let me hear you. What do you fantasize about? What do you dream of? What would you like to see? What would you like to happen? What can you just not wait for? I want to know because maybe you guys think of things that I don't even think of, and I want to think about those things too. You might think of something amazing that never even crossed my mind, man. Give me something else. All right. Put something else in my mind for me to daydream about. All right. So Ezekiel 20, let's come down to verse 33. The Most High will restore Israel to her land, not replace Israel, but restore Israel. That's the great joy, right? No matter what Christians say, because they're going to say a lot. Man, I see these videos all the time. Oh, so and so debunked the Hebrew Israelites. Let me show you how Satan is working through the Hebrew Israelites. It's hilarious. That is the kind of darkness, the gross darkness Christians are under and don't even realize it. They are the ones in Satan's church. They are the ones in darkness. They are the ones being Satan's handyman, and they don't even realize it. That's how terrifying our power is and what he could do to you. They think that it's happening to us, but it's them who are in who are suffering from delusion, right? He says, I will choose their delusions. And they don't understand that their delusion has been chosen for them, and they're suffering under delusion. We've been freed from it. They don't get it. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. If they're Israelites, I pray that they get it. I don't wish that any of my people shall remain, blind and in the dark. The joy that I feel, I want for all of us. But all right, so let's get to it. Verse 33. As I live, saith Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, meaning that's my own. I put that on me to put it in our kind of vernacular. Man, I put that on me. That's what he's saying. Surely with a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out will I rule over you. What? What? Let's get that again. Surely, meaning guaranteed, with a mighty hand, with a mighty hand, and with the stretched out arm, and with fury poured out will I rule over you. That fury is for our enemies. That's not for us. And I will bring you out from the people and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered. Listen, with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out. He's telling us how he's going to gather us. The gathering is going to happen with violence, war. These people aren't, we ain't just going to get up and start migrating. So when you see these people talking about, man, should we get it? Should we go to Africa? Right? They think they about to get up and travel and just, leisurely, the gathering is going to happen in a leisurely fashion. No, with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out. That's how he's going to gather us. And I will bring you, I will bring you. He says, I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. He's going to be there. Yahweh Shai, man. Yahweh Shai is going to be there. See, this is another one of those instances that show that when you see this in the Old Testament, this is always Yahweh Shai, man. I'm telling you, it's never the Father speaking directly. It's always Yahweh Shai speaking on behalf of the Father. He's always the mouthpiece. It's him talking, always him talking. All right. Again, that's why he's called the Word of God. It ain't just, see, it's a double entendre. He is the literal word, but he's the word of Yahweh, as in his voice, his mouthpiece. He speaks for him. But hey, you can't teach certain people anything because they think they know it all. They think they got the 100% truth. And, if their elders don't tell it to them, then they're not allowed to believe it. You do what I'm saying? So this is one of the key scriptures, right? Yahweh says he will gather Israel and bring them into the wilderness of the people. That means before the kingdom is fully established, there is a gathering, there is a separation and a dealing with his people. All right, he's going to separate the rebels. He's going to purge out the rebels from among us. Verse 36, like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt. Proof that this is a Israelite thing. This is not about Christians and whosoever believes and, spiritual Israelites, the way Christians say it. It's not about that. It's about the bloodline, the same people who descended from the people who actually were brought out of Egypt, taken into the wilderness, and then into their land. It's the same bloodline, the very same people. These are the descendants. This is talking about us. No matter what, see what I'm saying? Christians want to talk about how they debunking us, but trying to debunk us is like saying that they're debunking the Holy Spirit. They're debunking the word of God. Listen to what his word is literally saying. How can they hear this and insert Christians and throw out Israel and say, well, the bloodline Israelites don't matter no more? Don't matter. It ain't about Israel. It ain't about ethnic Israel. It's about whosoever believes. But then they read the prophecies and listen to the prophecies. Listen to what they say. The prophecies never say Israel's going to be thrown away, but this is what they say. But we don't care what they say. We care what the Most High says, right? We care what our Father says through Yahweh Shai. That's what matters. And that's what gives us joy. Because if it was left up to the Christians, to the Christian church, we wouldn't have joy. We wouldn't have anything to believe in. Because what they believe in is fake, it's phony, right? Surely in vain do they worship me, he says, right? He says, well, how does it go? I'm paraphrasing, of course, I can't remember the exact wording where he says, um, the hills hope in vain. I believe that's in Jeremiah somewhere. The hills hope in vain. And again, that is a extremely rough paraphrasing because that is not how it go. I can't bring it to mind right now. All right. But somebody go search it and put it down there. I can search it right now and go find it, but that's not, you know, important for me to get sidetracked on that. Let me go ahead and stick to the lesson. So you see here that he compares the coming wilderness to the first Exodus. All right. That means we need to understand Exodus to understand what's coming. And Exodus was Israel centric. Am I right or am I right? Right? Okay. And so again, it says, look, like as I pleaded with your fathers. Verse 37, and I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant. He didn't say, I'm going to bring you into the covenant. He says, I'm going to bring you into the bond of the covenant. See, this is where, the camp boys and folks, they get tripped up. They don't really understand words and phrases and they struggle with comprehension. They hear things or they read things and then they start inserting things, right? That's not there. They start twisting what's there to make it fit what they believe instead of just taking what's there. See, they got the same problem the Christians have. Verse 38, and I will purge out from among you the rebels and them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel. Look, he says, I'm going to bring them from where they are, because when he comes, he's going to gather all of Israel, the good, the bad, and the ugly. He's going to gather us, and then he's going to purge out the rebels. And when purge out, I take that to mean kill. He's going to kill them, or he's going to send them out so that they can be killed by the other peoples. Either way, it's not a good thing for them. All right. Not wanting to be ruled over by Yahweh Shai will make you a rebel. Not wanting the Most High's will to be done makes you a rebel. You know what I'm saying? Yes, that means if you hate Isaiah 4 and 1, you don't want that to be true, that makes you a rebel. You're going to die. You might as well just live La Vida Loca right now. Fall out of the truth right now because you're in here for nothing. If you got a problem with that, you might as well just go ahead and fall out right now and go just do whatever you want to do right now. Go live it up to the maximum, right? You might as well because you're going to die anyway. You're going to die. He'll take you out of here because you don't want what the Most High will is to be done. You want your way, right? You want your ego to be stroked. You want him to condescend to your mind. But that'll never happen. Okay, that absolutely will never happen. All right. So as for the wilderness, right? Why the wilderness though? The wilderness is not just a location, fam. The wilderness is about a process. Remember what happened in the wilderness in time of old? The rebels were purged out, right? The people who were rebels, they had an opportunity to show themselves and to make themselves worthy of being purged out. And then they had to go through the process of being purged out, right? Well, the same thing. All right. Remember, that was just a foreshadowing. So, in similar fashion, all of Israel, like back then, all of Israel was brought out of Egypt, and then the rebels were purged out. All of Israel is going to be brought out, and then the rebels are going to be purged out. Okay. So remember that the wilderness is where Yahweh separates his people. All right. He removes Egypt and Babylon from them. He starts to dust you off and rid you of the remnants of the kingdom he's trying to pull you out of. All right. And then what does he do? He tests them. He feeds them. He protects them. He teaches them and he prepares them for what? For the land, for going into their land. There's no just going right in there. You got to get ready first, right? They had to receive laws and the statutes and the commandments and all of that. They had to get made ready. And right now, we're being made ready. The government is being prepared right now. And then in the wilderness, the people are going to be introduced to their government. They're going to be taught by their government, by their priests, by their future kings. They're going to be fed the word. They're going to be made ready to go into the land. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 8. The Most High's gracious dealings. All the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do, that ye may live and multiply and go in and possess the land which Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai swear unto your fathers. This is what was going on in the wilderness, being made ready, giving commandments. that they had to observe to do, so that they may live and multiply and go in and possess the land which Yahweh swear unto their fathers, our fathers. Verse 2, and thou shalt remember all the way which Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, thy power, led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee and prove thee, that means test, to know what was in thine heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or no. And he humbled thee. See, it's going to be a lot of humbling going on, a lot of testing going on. All right, a lot of, I wish I would. I wish the fuck I would. Y'all remember that? Yeah. I would never. I ain't gonna never do this. I ain't gonna never do that. Not me. I ain't stupid. I ain't gonna be no pick me. Not. Okay. And humble thee. This is what's gonna happen. But it ain't just gonna happen to women, fellas. So don't be sitting over there smug face like it ain't gonna be some humbling going on for the fellas too. Oh, there will be. Oh, there will be. All right. And one of the ways going to be a lot of humbling is certain men are going to understand that there is a pecking order under the Most High. There is a hierarchy, and certain men are going to be placed under certain men who are going to be placed under certain men who are going to be placed under certain men. There's going to be a humbling when you find out that you are on the bottom of the hierarchy. But hey, as long as you're in, as long as you're in, right? My baby boy, man, I love him so much, and he loves me like a son is supposed to love his father, man. Like he hears these lessons. He know about the 144,000. Dad, I know you won 144,000. Man, you probably like number one or two out of the 144,000, right? You were one or two, right? Like you only you come right after you Yahweh Shai. You come there's Yahweh, there's Yahweh Shai, and then it's you, Dad, right? I love him. I love him so much, man. You feel what I'm saying? And then, but my response to that is, son, I don't care if I'm number 144,000. As long as I make it, I make it. I'm in there. I just want to be one of them. I don't need to be, one of the first ones. I just want to be one of them. If I'm the last one, man, I made it. You get what I'm saying? And I fully, and with that. That ain't just something I say. I desire in my heart to be made of that number. I pray all the time that what I believe is true, that what I feel is true, that what I believe he has shown me, I'm not just manifesting these things in my own head, right? That it is his communication to me that I'm registering, all right? And that I just want to be in. I don't care what number I am among that number. I just want to be among that number. And then I say, well, if I'm not blessed on that level to be of the 144,000, as long as I get to be of the remnant, that's still I'm still of the remnant. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, that's what's up. You see, and that has to be our attitude, fam. But there's going to be a lot of people in that time who believe that they would be more, and they're going to find out that they're less. Remember the parable of the marriage feast? How he said that it's better that um not to choose the choicest seats, right? But to humble yourself and choose one of the lower seats, and it's better for the person to come and say, "Hey, friend, come up here," than to be told to leave from the seat you place yourself in, right? Could take a lower seat and get called up. That's better than to take a higher seat and get sent down, right? But it's going to be a lot of people who took higher seats and they go get sent down. So those going to be a lot of brothers who going to receive humbling. All right. So men and women both are going to receive humbling. All right. To prove thee, to know what was in thy heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or no. And he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger and fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doeth not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai doeth man live. He's stressing the importance of balance, that we have to remember that we are not these bodies. Yes, these bodies crave food and need food, but our souls, our spirits crave food and need food as well. All right. There's a different food though for that. And that's when you show up here all the time. Every lesson you're showing up here to feed your spirit because your spirit is hungry. You feel the hunger and the thirst. You know that you just can't survive off of just bread alone. You know that you need more than just what you put into your body. That's why you show up here. That's why you read and study on your own, right? That's what it's all about. So the wilderness humbles. It's a time period for humbling, a time period for being tested. And the wilderness reveals what's in the heart. All right. Because when everything is stripped away, when you don't have the dainties of this world, all right, when you don't have the makeup and the filters and the weaves and the wigs and the Spanx and the this and the that, you don't got all of that stuff anymore, lashes and all of that, and you just got to be who you are. That's going to be a humbling time. All the so-called baddies who ain't really bad without all that artificial stuff on, they going to get humbled because some of them is going to make it and they go get humbled. They go make it out there and get humbled, and then they go be among the rebels to get purged out. Not all of them. There's going to be a small percentage of them who are going to be humbled and are going to repent, and they're going to change in spirit. They're going to repent and become different, become better women, better men, right? To Yahweh's glory. That's what's up. Let's go to Hosea chapter 2. Let's come down to verse 14. Look at what does that say? Restoration of Israel, not the replacement of Israel. Therefore, behold, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably unto her. Her who? Israel. Speaking of Israel as a woman, I will allure her, right? I will allure her. What does allure mean? Should we go into the interlinear to go get that? Let's do it. Allure. To entice. It says deceive here, but we know the Most High does not deceive, so that's not it. Persuade. He will entice or persuade or seduce. All right. Israel, the woman, into the wilderness. Right now, we are being enticed. We are being persuaded. We are being seduced into the wilderness right now. It's happening right now. He's already started. It's not just something that's going to happen later. No, it's happening right now. All right. We are being allured into the wilderness and speak. He says, I will bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably to her. He's going to be loving on us. We're going to be loving what he's talking about, what he's saying. Having him here, him ruling over us and leading us, man, it's going to be a beautiful time for us, fam. Don't let nobody trick you out of your spot. Start humbling yourself now. All right. So again, I'm telling you, this is beautiful. You got to picture it like a man talking about his woman. Listen to the love that's involved in that statement. Beautiful, right? So the wilderness isn't only judgment because it is judgment. Don't get it twisted. It's comfort. It's restoration. It's Yahweh speaking to his people through Yahweh Shai again. Us being connected to the vine, being tapped in to the source, being loved on right? Like long lost children. You ever seen those shows where, someone was uh put up for adoption or something and they go looking for their birth parents and then they find them and in the reunion and what it's like. This is that on a whole nother level. On a whole nother level, fam. When we are brought back into the family, when a father through Yahweh Shah reaches out to us, brings us back in and starts to love on us in a way in which we've never experienced love before, is going to be quite the thing. For us, there shall be weeping and joy. For the rebels, there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Oh, it's going to be a whole lot of crying, but there will be a distinct difference in the type of crying going on between the rebels and the righteous. All right, let's go back to Ezekiel because we got to lean into that part right there that I was just talking about, right? The rebels being purged out. Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 37. And I will cause you to pass under the rod, right? Remember, we're the rod of iron. The rod of iron primarily is the 144,000, right? It will pass under the rod, all right? Meaning they will come under the 144,000. All right. They will come under, the remnant will come up under the 144,000, the rod. All right. And the rod will be used on the rebels. Okay. The rod will be used on the rebels. That purging out, Yahweh Shai ain't about to get his hands dirty. He's going to give the word, and the 144,000, whoever is assigned to get busy is going to get busy. Not the kind of get busy that that makes us fruitful and multiply. Not that kind of get busy neither. All right. So let's get it. Verse 37. Let's get verse 38. And I will purge out from among you the rebels and them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. This is serious. The wilderness gathering is not everybody just walking into the kingdom untouched. Get that out of your mind. There's purification first, right? Separation, and there's judgment. You better understand this first and foremost. All right, let's go to Matthew chapter 3. Let's come down to verse 12. Whose fan is in his hand, and he will thoroughly purge his floor, thoroughly purge his floor. Right? This is talking about Yahweh Shai, whose fan, right? Remember, he said he's going to call for fanners, and they shall fan them, right? And he's talking about the threshing floor. He will thoroughly purge his floor and gather his wheat into the garner, but he will burn up the chaff with unquenchable fire. The chaff, that's what we call the 2/3. Those who they're just no good. They gotta get purged out. They're gonna have to die. All right. They will be burned up with unquenchable fire. So this is sifting talk. Right? The wheat is kept, the chaff is burned. All right. Let's go to Second Ezra 13, 48. Second Ezra 13 and 48. But those that be left of thy people are they that found are they that are found within my borders. Now, when he destroyeth the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, he shall defend his people that remain, and then shall he show them great wonders. You see, there's going to be people that's going to get purged out first, and then those who are left are going to be shown great wonders. All right, so Second Ezra, it gives us the picture of separated Israel and divine protection. Right, so the point is Yahweh knows how to gather his own, and Yahweh will gather his own and separate those that don't belong. He will get rid of those who aren't fit. All right. And we know that he knows how to gather his own, and he knows how to care for his own, right? You got to trust him to do it. Don't be like those wicked, mumbling Israelites in the wilderness who were talking about how it was better for them if they had stayed in Egypt. You brought us out here in the wilderness to die. Man, it was better if we had stayed in Egypt. Wow. You 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 will definitely have those bootlicks. You see them right now in the nation. And most of them are in the Christian church. Oh man, those bootlicks, they do not want to leave. They do not want to leave here. They do not want anything to change. They love this place. And when he tries to bring us out, they're going to fight. You know how I know? Because they're fighting it now. He's trying to bring them. He brought us out of the Christian church. He brought many of us out of the Christian church. Some brought out of Islam, some out of atheism, right? Whatever you were in, he called us out of it. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, all of these Israelite Christians, boy, they will fight you harder than the Gentile Christians will. You see, and that's why they got to be purged. They're not going to make it. Those are the same spirits of those people who would much rather hold on, right? You can tell them that they're Israelites and this Bible is all about them, salvation is all about them, and they will hate you for it, get mad at you for it, and they will fight you for it. You would think that you were telling them that this book is not for them. No, you're telling them, hey, this book is for you. It's about you. It's about your people. These are about the promises the Most High make to you. No, he didn't. Not my Jeebus, not my God. It's for everybody. He's for everybody's God. And they will literally fight you. They don't want to be pulled out of Christianity. They hate the idea of being the children of God, but want to be the children of God all at the same time. It's one of the most unbelievably weird dynamics. They want the they don't want to be Israel. And the reason why they don't want to be Israel is because they believe Christian doctrine that Israelites are replaced. So they don't want to be the people who are replaced if they remember their doctrine. Biblical Israel is replaced. It's not about them anymore. Therefore, in their mind, the benefit is in being a Gentile because the Gentiles are the ones getting the blessings. The Gentiles are the ones getting the salvation, not Israel. Israel is thrown away. Why would I want to be the people thrown away? See, that's their mind. A colonized mind, man. Revelation 12, let's come down to verse 6. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. He already has a place prepared for us. That they should feed her there 1,260 days. That's 3.5 years. There's going to be a 3.5 year period in the wilderness. All right. So again, a place prepared by the Most High. That means this gathering is not random. It's not disorganized. It's not accidental. Yahweh has already prepared protection. Let's come down to verse 14. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent. A time and times and half a time. That's 3.5 years. Okay. So the wilderness is where she's nourished, the woman, right? She's fed, she's protected, and she's preserved in the wilderness. There's no need to fear. It's going to be a great time for us, a time that has to happen, a time when we're going to have, again, he's going to have to clean us up. He's going to have to wean us off of Babylon, off of Egypt. All right. He's going to have to get you out of the habits, out of the mindset, the different things that you're stained with from this place to get you ready. We all need it. And there's going to be people fighting them, people who are going to try to rebel. They're not going to want the change. They're going to want to remain the same. They're going to be missing this current world. And they're going to get purged out. Let's go to Isaiah 33. Let's come down to verse 16. He shall dwell on high. His place of defense shall be the munitions of rocks. Bread shall be given him. His waters shall be sure. See, this is provision. All right? This is all about provision. Thine eyes shall see the king in his beauty. They shall behold the land that is very far off. So you see that this is talking about that period in the wilderness. All right. Look, judgment of the Most High. There will be judgment there, and there will be comfort there. There will be love there. There will be provision. All right. We will be fed. We will be protected. We will be loved. Let's go to Psalm 91. Verse 7. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. People are going to be dying in this world all around us, but we won't be affected by it. It shall not come nigh us. All right. Is this talking about us prior to the wilderness, or us in the wilderness, or us prior and in the wilderness? Because you can't put the Most High in the box. I believe that this is meant for us before the wilderness and during. But I think it's primarily, about being in the wilderness when we are under Yahweh protection. Because if you remember, when you come back, it talks about us being under his wings. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. All right. In order to be under his wings, he has to be here. He has to be among us. And then we'll be under his protection, under his provision in the wilderness, where we will not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. All right, well, again, but it could also apply to the time leading up to the wilderness. Why it can't be for both? It can be, and it might be. I'm going to say that it is. All right, because there's no reason to believe anything else. All right, because again, I don't limit the Most High. I think that he gave us this for right now to get us through tough times leading up into the wilderness. But also this promise extends into the wilderness. You see what happened there? All right, it begins before the wilderness and extends into the wilderness, because we're already under his protection before he gets here. We're spiritually under his protection. Then we will be physically under his protection. All right, let's go to Jeremiah 16, verse 14. The Most High will restore them. There's that language again, restoration language again. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, that it shall no more be said, Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. The children of Israel, the bloodline, the offspring of Israel, the descendants of Israel, the children of, we know what that means. Doesn't mean whosoever believes in Jebus. All right, that's crazy. Nonsense. Foolishness. Stop it. But Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north. See, and this is talking about the second Exodus, and it's talking about that this is about the children of Israel also, not Gentile believers. This is also about the children of Israel, bringing them up from the land of the north and from all the lands whither he had driven them in captivity, in slavery. This is the same talk that we read earlier, the same language, right? When he says that he would gather Israel and Judah from where he had driven them, right? Of course, I'm right. Y'all read it with me. Y'all followed along. And listen, here's the part to drive it home to make sure they can't wiggle, because they will. If left up to their own devices, the Christians will find a way to still say, no, 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 no. That's not what it meant. Children of Israel, it just means whosoever believes in Jebus. Okay, let's see. And I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. That's the coup de grace. That's the coup de grace right there. Right? It's over. No more talk. No more talk. It's plainly clear after that. He says these are the same people, the same bloodline, the same ones. All right? Not a new people, not a grafted in people, not a spiritual people, not whoever believes. All right? That's not what it says. So this deliverance will be so great that it overshadows the first Exodus. That's the point, right? Be joyful. I pray just about every day, every time it comes to mind, which is often. And I pray that I get to be one of those people. That is a great joy that is set before us. The Most High knows that I have a great hope, that is a source of joy for me, that I think about it all the time. He knows my heart and he knows I want to be there. I want to be a part of the generation who walks into the wilderness and walks into the kingdom. I want to be a part of the second Exodus, the greatest story that will ever be told. During the millennial reign of Yahweh Shai, I want to be one of those people who are able to tell the story to those who come after about the great Exodus. I want to know from firsthand experience what it was like. I want to be able to recall. I want to be able to close my eyes and see it happening again and tell the story. I don't want the story to be told to me. I want to be a teller of the story, who from as a person who was there, who lived it. Because I think about the first Exodus, man, I'm like, man, that must have been something to see, something to experience, man, to be those people there at that time. I think about them and what it was like for them to experience that. And I'm like, man, that had to be quite the experience. And it makes me say, man, I want to be one of those who get to experience that second Exodus. Don't you want to see it? Don't you want to experience it for yourself? Pray for it, right? Because he's going to give you what you hold fast to. He knows what you believe in. He knows the joy that you have in your heart. He knows what motivates you. He wants to give you the desires of your heart if they are in righteousness. And he knows my heart. I have a strong desire to want to see Yahweh Shai. I want to be part of those people who are gathered. I want to see Yahweh Shai, man, and I want to see him smile at me. I want him to open his arms up and I want him to put them around me and I want him to hug me and say, "You did a good job, little bro. Well done, my good and faithful servant. I love you. You did good. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord." That's what I want. What you want? See, that's that great joy. That's the carrot in my face. You feel me? That's Yahweh Shai on my back like I'm a horse, and he got the carrot in front of my face, causing me to walk the way he wants me to go, leading me to where he wants me to go with that carrot out in front of me. That's my carrot. What is your carrot? What's your carrot? Do you think on your carrot often? You should, because he uses your carrot to lead you. What motivates you? What gets you up? What brings you back? Lesson after lesson. That's your carrot. Tell me, share it with me. What's your carrot, fam? Brothers, sisters, what's your carrot? Chime in. Don't be shy, man. Stop being scared. Stop being shy, man. Talk to the fam. What's your carrot? Share it. All right. So, what you see, though, is that this deliverance will be so great, though, that it overshadows the first Exodus. Big, right? The first Exodus had plagues, wonders, protection, Passover, Red Sea deliverance, wilderness provision. And Yahweh says the next deliverance will be even greater. I want to be there for it. Call Lawyer my Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Yahweh willing. I will see you guys there. All right, let's go to Isaiah 43. Look at this. Israel redeemed. Again, you see the consistency of the prophecies. That's why Christians, they struggle. They have a hard time. Anybody talking about they debunked the Hebrew Israelites, boy, just know Satan has greatly deceived them. Greatly deceived them. They can't even see what's right here in the book. All right, Isaiah 43, verse 18. Remember ye not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Y'all see that? The beasts of the field shall honor me, the dragons and the owls, because I give waters in the wilderness and rivers in the desert to give drink to my people, my chosen. This people have I formed for myself. They shall show forth my praise. You see, this is all about us, his children, his people. He has not just bestowed those titles on anyone else. The titles of his chosen or his people or his children. He has never used those titles to refer to anyone else but us. No one. And he didn't switch up all of a sudden and decide he's going to use those titles on the new people. That's just not him. They don't know him. That's why they're able to say the things that they say. All right. So remember ye not the former things. All right. Neither consider the things of old. He's not saying this because the first Exodus didn't matter. It's because the next one will be greater. And it will be the one that matters the most because it will be our final, the final time he will do this. He won't do this again. All right. And it's the end of the movie, the end of this, we're at towards the end of this story. Or I should say that, the current book, because there's a whole new book that's going to open up for an eternity. All right. We're at the end of of this volume. You know what I mean? And this is how the volume is going to end. This is the crescendo, a big deal. And I want to be part of it. The joy set before me. All right, let's go to Revelation 19. What else brings me joy? Revelation 19, the marriage of the Lamb. To who? To the 144,000, to his bride, to his people. All right. Verse 11, the coming of a Mashiach. This brings me joy. This is a great joy set before me. What about you? And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called faithful and true. And in righteousness he doeth judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of Yahweh. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. I want to be one of the people in white linen on the white horse, following Yahweh Shai as part of his army, coming back into the earth, because that's what the 144,000 are going to do. They're going to leave earth. The remnant will still be here. The 144,000 will be taken, will go to the marriage, will come back glorified with Yahweh Shai, his bride, and will come back to save, to gather the remnant. Yahweh willing, I'll be among the number. All right. Verse 15. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, and with it he should smite the nations. And he shall rule them with the rod of iron. Again, that's the bride. That's the 144,000. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty Yahweh. And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. I want to be one of those kings and one of those lords. I believe I will be. And that is a great joy that is set before me. It's the carrot. I'm naming mine. Name yours. All right. So Yahweh Shai is not returning as the world imagines. He's not coming back as the lamb. You see, they read this book and they think, that who he was is who he is and who he will be. They don't understand. He says, I will not meet thee as a man. He is not coming back to be who he was when he was here the first time. He's coming back as the conquering king to take his kingdom by force, the way all kings took kingdoms, through war, through force. There got to be bloodshed. Has to be. Get down or lay down type of deal. You get what I'm saying? So Yahweh Shai, he's returning as king, judge, warrior, and deliverer. All of the above. That brings me joy. That's what I'm reminded of when I see these people, these heathens, raging. And when I see these foolish people imagining vain things, I think on things like this. All right, Revelation 11, verse 15. And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his anointed, and he shall reign forever and ever. See, so that's the transfer of power, right? This present world ends, Yahweh Shai's reign begins. Okay, go to Revelation 20. Satan bound. Satan gets bound when Yahweh Shai comes. Satan can't run loose in Yahweh Shai's kingdom. Okay? He can't run wild and do his thing while Yahweh Shai is here reigning. Satan had his time, right? And remember, spirit, there's two sides, right? There's the spiritual things happening and there are the carnal things happening. All right. When what's the scripture that says that you have to bind the strong man in order to spoil his house? Well, right now, this is Satan's house. He has to be bound in order to spoil his house. All right. So spiritually, he has to be bound so that physically his kingdom can be seized. All right. So there's a war being fought on two fronts. All right. So verse 4, and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them. They who? The elect. And judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with the Mashiach 1,000 years. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power, but they shall be priests of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai and of Mashiach, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. So the elect are not just being saved to sit around. We're being saved to reign. We're being prepared for rulership. Joy, a great joy set before us. What do you joy in? Daniel 7, verse 27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. Great joy, right? See, these are the things that Yahweh Shai joyed in that allowed him to endure the cross. And these things are also presented to us to give us the same motivation, the same hope, and the same joy that Yahweh Shai has. All right, let's go to Revelation 5, verse 10. Let's come back to verse 9. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to the Most High by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. He has redeemed his people out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. It's very easily understood when you don't try to force your ideology, and has made us unto the Most High kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. I want to be a king. I want to be a priest, and I want to reign on the earth. I think of things like, man, I wonder which piece of the earth I'm going to be given to rule over. That's a great joy that is set before me. So he gives it to me to think about, to ponder, to meditate on. What does he give you? All right, see, this is our inheritance. This is our future. And this is what we're being trained for right now. This is serious. I'm about to say this is serious business, but no, literally, this is family business. And it is serious business. All right. what will the 1,000-year reign be like? All right, we're given a little bit to go off of to understand. But of course, we don't know everything. The scriptures don't cover it all. Certain things are just left up to our imaginations. That's how he wanted. He wanted us meditating. He don't want us to have it all figured out. He don't want us to know everything, but he gives us enough to think on. All right, Isaiah 2, verse 2. And it shall come to pass, but look at the Most High's universal reign, right? And it says universal because we're literally gonna reign over the entire earth. Father Yahweh is going to reign through Yahweh Shai and through us. All right. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains. All right. The mountain of Yahweh's house, that's the 144,000. That's his government. His government shall be established in the top of the mountains and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. See, they don't replace us and they don't join us. They will flow unto us, though. Right? When I say that they don't join us, I mean they don't join in our inheritance. They do get an inheritance, but not ours. Their inheritance is to be able to come into the kingdom. That's an inheritance. See, people got to remember the words have meanings. Just because we say that they have an inheritance, it doesn't mean that we're saying they become the children of the Most High. No, it's not what we're saying. It says that they have an inheritance in the future. They will inherit a certain lot in the future, in the kingdom. We inherit the lot of the children of the highest. They inherit the lot of citizens of the kingdom. Okay? Verse 3. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, to the house of the God of Jacob. Listen. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law. Remember, you're going to make us his kings and priests over the whole earth, right? Out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai from Jerusalem. We will preside over the earth. Think about it, okay? Like we like we are royalty in the earth, and all the other nations will come up and pay tribute. They will flock to us to come learn, to come study, right? They're going to be coming from everywhere to get close to us. They will make pilgrimages, all right, to to where we are, to come worship, to come learn. Verse 4. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Listen, nation shall not lift up sword against nation, no war, no fighting, neither shall they learn war anymore. You see, no corrupt courts, no lying politicians, no wicked rulers, no unjust systems. Yahweh Shai is going to rule with righteousness, right? The earth will finally have righteous government. That's why the unrighteousness and the wickedness of the current empire is on 10. It's on maximum level. It's turned all the way up. The most basis of the base of men, right? Because he gave rulership to the base of men, to the people who are meant to be on the bottom. They are the ones on top. Think about it. There is a hierarchy, like we said, right? And the people who are currently in rulership are the people who are meant to be on the absolute bottom. And the people who are on the absolute bottom are the ones meant to be on the top, at the top. Hierarchy. Okay? And so the bases of men have the bases of them in power. to be in power to help bring their empire to an end, because incompetence leads to the fold of government, to the fold of a house, right? If you don't rule over your house well, if you don't have wisdom, then you can't lead your house, right? Well, look who's leading their house. Look at the idiot in office and the idiots holding positions all throughout the empire, whether Congress and whatever it is, name it. All idiots. And they're necessary to bring the fall. All right. So just remember what you're looking at. Okay. Let's go back to Isaiah 11. Right. Verse 3 says, and shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, and he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. And the reason for this is because he will not need for anyone to have to come and give a testimony, for him to have to take their word for it about something somebody has done. He's going to know. He will know who's guilty, on what level, who's righteous, on what level, who has done what. He will know how to judge because he will know all that everyone has ever done. That's who's coming. Someone who knows all that every person has ever done. So he will be able to judge them from that aspect. It's not going to be like court right now where witnesses have to come and people got to testify and this, that, and the other. That's not going to be necessary. He knows. The one who's going to be judging knows. See, so he's not going to judge after his sight. He's not going to judge by what he sees, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears or what he's told, because he's going to know. He's going to have the knowing advantage to know how to righteously judge. Verse 4, but with righteousness shall he judge the poor and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. That's us. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth. That's the 144,000. And with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked, because he's going to shot call. He's going to command. He's going to say, hey, go do this, go do that, and it's going to get done. He is not going to do anything himself. He's going to shot call. Okay? Remember that. So the poor will finally receive justice. The meek will finally be defended. The wicked will finally be judged correctly. No more getting off. Our possessors will no longer, the people who possess us, they slay us and they hold themselves not guilty. That's going to be over. That's going to be over. No more people being rewarded for wickedness. Oh, well, you only killed a black person, so it's not that bad. Here, we'll let you off. Nah, none of that. There will be literal hell to pay for that. All right, let's go to Psalm 72. Psalm 72, verse 4. But look at the top, the reign of the righteous king. All right, so we know this is about the coming reign of Yahweh Shai. And many, let's see, Psalm 72, verse 4. Yeah, let's come right to verse 4. He shall judge the poor of the people. He shall save the children of the needy and shall break in pieces the oppressor. Did that just make you smile when you heard the promise that he's going to break in pieces the oppressor? That's what's coming. Joy said before us, fam. Right? That's righteous rulership, not oppression, not exploitation, but it's justice. We will finally have justice, family. We won't get it from these people. They'll never give it to us. But Yahweh Shai is coming to bring us justice. Just wait. All right. Your strength is to sit still. Okay. Let's go to Isaiah 60. Isaiah 60. Look, a glorified Zion, not a replaced Zion. All right. Isaiah 60, verse 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. See, these people don't want us to receive mercy. They want us to be replaced. They want us to be thrown away so that they can take our seats in the kingdom. All right. But look what we got to look forward to is get back, righteousness, right? And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls. They are going to do for us what we did for them. We built up their kingdom. They're going to build up ours. We slaved for them. They're going to slave for us. We served them. They're going to serve us. And their kings shall minister unto thee. See, because we are kings. Many of us are kings who had to serve these people. So see, the kings of Israel had to serve them. So their kings are going to serve us. Right? Therefore, thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles. See, the Gentiles, they read stuff like this and then they get cognitive dissonance. They don't want to read stuff like this because this doesn't help, you know, their mythology that they teach concerning Christianity and end times. It says that the forces of the Gentiles are going to be brought to these certain peoples. But if the Gentiles receive salvation, then how are Gentiles receiving salvation? And the Gentiles are going into captivity and shall serve the Gentiles. So the Gentiles are going to serve the Gentiles. Huh? He's damn sure not saying that the Israelites are going to serve the Gentiles. You see how foolish Christian doctrine is? How foolish it is to believe what they believe? They think that we are the ones that are fooled and in the dark. No, it's them. And they have no idea. All right. Verse 12. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. Whoever doesn't come bow down are going to be killed. Think about it. If he's going to kill off nations and people who refuse to come serve us, what do you think he's going to do with the women who decide, you know what, I don't want to serve the Israelite man. I don't want to bow down. I don't want to be subservient to the Israelite man. I don't want to be submissive to the Israelite man. I don't want to have to share him. I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. What do you think he's going to do? Listen to his character. Remember how consistent he is in his character. Bring them here who would not that I should reign over them and slay them before me. What do you think he's talking about? That's the wilderness. Who do you think he's talking to then? You see? It starts in the wilderness with his people. See, look, judgment always begins at his own house, right? So in the wilderness, he's going to be saying that to his own about his own people. And then after the wilderness, right, when the other nations are coming up and he's judging over all the nations and right, anybody who don't want to come and bow down, who don't want to serve us, they will be utterly wasted. Bottom line. All right. So this is not equality. This is order. That's why all of this foolish talk about our people talking about, man, we just want equality. I don't want equality. Right. I want domination. I want rulership. I want to reign. Right. I want what Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai has in store for us, not the little bit of uh what's the word I'm looking for? Crumbs, like the not the crumbs our people be out here lobbying for, like those who are out here lobbying for reparations. Man, please. Anything these people give you is not going to be substantial. Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua wants to give us everything, the whole earth, everything in it, including the people. And y'all out here begging from your enemies for chump change, for crumbs. No, thank you. I want the loaf, please, and thank you. You feel me? So the nations that once ruled, oppressed us, enslaved us, and spoiled us, will be brought under Yahweh's government, under his people, under us, under heel. That's a great joy set before us, fam. You feel me? Let's go to Zechariah 14. Zechariah 14, verse 16. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai of hosts, and to keep the feast of tabernacles. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. And if the family of Egypt go not up, and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague, wherewith Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. He says, I'm going to punish them if they don't come up with no rain. And if they harden their necks even more and decide, okay, well, I'm still not coming to bow, okay, there shall be a plague then. First, I'm going to deprive you of rain. If you don't have rain, then you don't have water. You don't have, you can't have crops. You can't grow food, right? So you're looking at famine and all sorts of things like that, right? And then they're gonna harden their hearts and their necks, right? Stiffen their necks. Then there shall be a plague. This shall be the punishment of Egypt and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. Oh, he is insisting upon people coming and bending the knee. He wants them to come bend the knee. He says he's going to make them come and bow down and kiss our feet. He wants us to be worshiped. He wants people to bow down to us. Listen, even our women. Right now, our women have been pulled up above us in our enemy's world, in our enemy's empire. But even our women, he desires for them to be subject unto us as well. But guess what? They're going to be subject unto righteous men. Don't be thinking about us right now in our current state, ladies, when you're hearing this. That's not who you're going to be under. Not us under our current state. No, you're going to be under men who are holy, who are righteous, who are great men. That's who you're going to be under. Oh, you're going to have to share, but you're going to be sharing great men, though. Amazing men, godly men, godlike men. Think about that. So the nations will be made to acknowledge Yahweh's order. See, I was just talking about our women will be made to acknowledge the Most High's order, but again, he starts there, right? And then the nations are going to be made to acknowledge his order. Everything starts with his own house first. Cleans his own house up, get his own house in order, and then he spreads out to the other peoples, to the other nations. That's why, again, right now, salvation is not about the other nations, it's about Israel. Let's go to Revelation chapter 2. Let's come down to verse 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. We're promised power, man. Power over the nations, rulership, and he shall rule them with the rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my father. The power that he received from our father will be given unto us. Rulership that was given to him from the Father will also be given unto us. So that's the promise to overcomers, a great joy that is set before us. Okay, let's go to Ezekiel 36. Ezekiel 36. the mountains of Israel to be blessed. All right. In the mountains, that's the elect, that's the government, the 144,000. All right. To be blessed. Let's come down to verse 24. For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries and will bring you into your own land. Listen, then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean. From all your filthiness and from all your idols will I cleanse you. See, the other nations, they want us to be thrown away, but he promises that he will sprinkle clean water upon us, and we shall be clean. From all our filthiness and from all our idols will he cleanse us. A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you. And I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and will give you an heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit within you, and cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgments, and do them. And ye shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers, making it clear who this prophecy is about. And ye shall be my people, and I will be your God. All right, so you see, whenever it's talking about his people, it's talking about Israel, the Israelites, the same people from old, the same bloodline, not a new people, not a people grafted in, not a people replacing the ancient Israelites. No, the same bloodline. Okay? This is a promise, and it should be a great joy and a hope that is set before you, Israel, because this is restoration, regathering, cleansing, and transformation. All right? All of this should sound familiar, right? Jeremiah 31, verse 31. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers. So it's talking to the same people, saying it's going to be a different covenant, but with the same people. All right, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, saith Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, I will put my law in their inward parts. Sound familiar? And write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. Making it very clear who his people are and what he's going to do to, for, and with his people. And it's not what the Christians say. Spoiler alert. Verse 34, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother. Listen, he says, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother. Why? Because we're going to teach the other nations. Saying, know Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, for I will forgive their iniquity and I will remember their sin no more. That sounds familiar, right? Sounds like what we just read in Ezekiel 36, right? The prophecies are consistent. No contradictions. The Christians just have it wrong. All right, so the new covenant is with Israel. The laws will be written inwardly. All right, the people will be transformed. That's what's due to us. That's the great joy that is set before us. All right, so you got to remember that. Okay. All right, so let's get Baruch chapter 5. Baruch chapter 5, and we're going to start at verse 1. Put off, O Jerusalem, the garment of mourning and affliction, and put on the comeliness of the glory that cometh from the Most High forever, eternally. All right, we're going to put off the garment of mourning and affliction. That's these bodies, man. We're going to shed these bodies and put on the comeliness of the glory, meaning those celestial bodies, those heavenly bodies, those mansions for our spirits. He says, cast about thee a double garment of the righteousness which cometh from the Most High, and set a diadem on thine head of the glory of the everlasting. For Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai will show thy brightness unto every country under heaven. He's going to show the whole world that we are his children. He's going to shine us up and make us gods. He's going to make us beautiful. We're going to be amazing. Then he's going to say, hey, to the world, hey, 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 everybody listen up. Listen up, gather around. Everybody look, 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 look. Behold, my children. Look at them. That's what's coming. Right? Mourning removed, glory given, right? For thy name shall be called of the Most High forever, the peace of righteousness and the glory of the Most High's worship. Man, I know you were thinking it. Joy, right? Joy set before us, right? Exactly. See, y'all catching on. Y'all rocking with me. That's what's up. All right. So when we read in Isaiah 11, let's go back. Let's go back. I'm about to talk about it. Might as well go back. Oops. Let's go back. Isaiah 11. Let's come down to verse 6, right? The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, right? And, verse 9, everything that we read here, right? The second child shall play on the hole of the asp and so forth, right? This is a picture of peace restored in the earth, peace between us and all of creation. Everything will obey us and have the fear of the Most High upon them. The same way that Adam and Eve were at peace with the animals, right? They weren't terrified of the lions and the tigers and the bears. Oh my, right? Nah, they weren't terrified of them because they ruled over everything, and everything respected them and feared them and obeyed them. And then we lost that through disobedience. The Most High wasn't going to allow all of creation to be in obedience unto us when we weren't under obedience to him. No way was that going to happen. All right. So he turned everything upside down and changed the order of things, but now he's going to turn it right side up and fix the order of things. All right. So the earth is going to be under righteous rule again. Even creation is going to reflect the order of Yahweh. Let's go to Micah chapter 4. Peaceful latter days. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, again, that is the 144,000, shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills. All right. We're going to be lifted up above everything in the earth, and people shall flow unto it. And many nations shall come and say, come, and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, and to the house of the God of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares. All of this sounds familiar. It should, right? And their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. But they shall sit, every man, listen to this, under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid. For the mouth of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai of hosts has spoken it. That's pretty cool, right? That's peace. Not fake peace. That's not temporary peace, but that's real peace, right? Nobody making us afraid. But listen to this part though. See, people, a lot of people read this part and they don't even understand what this is saying, but we need to catch it, right? Verse 4. But they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid, for the mouth of the Lord of hosts has spoken it. Here's the point. For all people will walk, everyone in the name of his God. What? Small g. You notice it? For everyone will walk in the name of his God. And we, listen, there's a distinction, a difference. And we will walk in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, our God, forever and ever. What is this saying exactly? If he said that there's going to be no more idolatry, all the world is going to know that he is and none else. Nobody's going to be worshiping no false gods or nothing like that anymore. What is this talking about then? Everyone shall walk in the name of his God, little g. But we will walk in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, our God, big G, forever and ever. What this is saying is that we will be the gods of the earth and we will rule over all the nations, and each people group will be given a certain king, aka a certain God, a certain Israelite man to rule over, and he will be their God. He will be as God unto them. You think that's blasphemy? What did Yahweh say? What did Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai say unto Moses? That he would be a God. He would be as God unto Israel and unto Aaron, right? And Aaron would be his mouthpiece. I will make thee as God unto him, right? Same thing. We will be gods, kings, and priests. That's what's coming. Great hope and a great joy that is set before us. All right. So, joy in what's coming. All right. Joy in what's coming. These are the things that you got to think upon. But see, you got to know them, know about it in order to think upon it, though, right? So, somebody has to teach you because not everything is just known or just given by uh, direct download, direct spiritual download. All right. So I pray that you guys were edified by that right there. I know it sounds like I'm about to wrap this up, but I'm not done just yet. All right. I'm not done just yet. This is not as exhaustive as it could be, but I wanted to, fill you guys up with joy. And I know those of you who really follow, you guys do not get uh turned off by a lengthy lesson. All right, so I'm gonna feed you. Let's eat. All right, Psalm 46, verse 9. He maketh wars to cease unto the ends of the earth. He breaketh the bow, and he cutteth the spear in sunder. He burneth the chariot in the fire. So the wars of this present world are gonna end, fam. All right. Joy, right? Let's go to Psalm 126, verse 1. When Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream. Listen, man. When he take away our captivity, when Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream. What does that mean? When you dream, what happens in your dream? All sorts of things that you can imagine, right? When he takes us out of captivity, we are going to get to live out our wildest dreams and imaginations. Our imaginations and our dreams are going to come true. He's going to give us the desires of our hearts and make our dreams come true. Right? Verse 2, then was our mouth filled with laughter and our tongue with singing. Man, you better believe it. How much joy and laughter and singing do you think is going to be going on when we are getting to live our dreams? When our dreams are going to be coming true? Then said they among the heathen, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh listen, hath done great things for them. You see, the same ones who are right now saying that, they get to replace us. Oh, later on, they're going to be saying, man, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh has done great things for his people. Look what he did for them. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh hath done great things for us, whereof we are glad. Turn again our captivity, O Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh as the streams in the south. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. Ain't that something? He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with him. You see, so that's the feeling. After all the tears, after all the captivity, after all the oppression, there's going to be laughter, joy, and restoration. Kohalayim la Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh. Kohalayim la Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh. That's right. All praise, honor, and glory is due to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh. Absolutely. Let's get Isaiah 35. Zion's happy future. Consistency of the scriptures, man. Let's come down to verse 10. I mean, we could get all of this, but for the sake of time, we're just going to come down to verse 10. And the ransomed of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai shall return and come to Zion with songs and everlasting joy upon their heads. They shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away. Sounds like what we just read, right? So we're talking about everlasting joy, not survival, right? Because this ain't living, this is just survival, right? But we have joy coming. Joy, fam. All right. Let's get Revelation 7. Verse 16. They shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more, neither shall the sun light on them, nor any heat. For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them, and shall lead them unto living fountains of waters, and the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. So no more hunger, no more thirst, no more suffering under the wicked. The Lamb will feed us. But he won't really be the lamb in that anymore. At that time, well, he's always the lamb, right? He will never cease from being the lamb of Yahweh, right? But he won't come the way that he came last time that he was here. Okay, let's go to Hebrews 12 again, back to where we started, right? Looking unto Yahweh Shai, the author and finisher of our faith. That's what we have to do, fam. Don't forget, whenever in doubt, think about Yahweh Shai. Look to him. He is the author and the finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame. We have to despise the shame, right? And he is set down at the right hand of the throne of the Most High Yahweh. Okay? Once again, Yahweh Shai endured because he saw the joy on the other side. And we have to do the same. He is our example. Okay? Let's go to Romans chapter 8. Deliverance from bondage. I wonder what that's about. And who? That's about, if the scriptures are consistent and true, it's about Israel. Let's come down to verse 18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. Remember that this present suffering is real, but it's not greater than the glory that's coming. Keep everything in perspective. Okay? Let's go to 2 Corinthians 4, verse 17. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. So that's how we have to think, right? Not trapped in the suffering, but focused on the glory. All right. So the wilderness is coming, the gathering is coming, the purging is coming, protection is coming, the reign of Yahweh Shai is coming, and the joy of our power is coming. So don't faint and don't be weary in well doing. Don't let this world make you forget the promise. Don't let Babylon's noise drown out Yahweh's word. We are not waiting on destruction only. We're waiting on restoration. We're waiting on rulership. We're waiting on peace. And we're waiting on joy. All right. The world sees the end of their kingdom. We see the beginning of ours. So the wilderness will be our gathering. Yahweh Shai is going to reign over us. And Yahweh will give us joy that this present world can't even imagine. Dream big. All right. Dream big. What do you hope for? What is your carrot? Again, fam, put it in the comments, man. Let me know what your carrot is. All right. I pray that you guys were all edified. I hope you received this exhortation and it put a smile on your face and it gave you joy. Here's to a bit of pep in your step, a little glide in your stride for the day. Right? All right. So I will see you on the next one, Yahweh willing. All praise, honor, and glory to our Father Yahweh in the name of our King Yahweh Shai through his Holy Spirit. May his grace, his peace, and his blessings and his joy be with us and upon us every single day. Again, I will see you on the next one, Yahweh willing. Each one, reach one. Shalom.